Okay, now that we have that taken care of and you kind of know a little bit about what you should do with repairing or troubleshooting your network issues, let's start at the first spot here. Remember I said physical. You're going to check the back of your computer and make sure your cable is plugged in, right? You're going to check and make sure that the cable is plugged in on the router. But before you even get there, let's make sure that you have a network problem to begin with. On the bottom right-hand side of your computer, you should see a little icon that looks like a network. It's like a little computer, like a computer screen. If that computer monitor screen icon is not showing, then yes, you probably have a network problem. If it is showing, then you probably don't have a network problem. You probably have an application problem or security problem. Could be either. Most likely security. That's what I tend to find happens most often. Now, if you don't have network connection, that little icon is not there, then you check out your cables. Make sure that your cables are good. Make sure that you're plugged in, everything's going okay. Another piece of software you can get is something called Ping Plotter. You just type in google.com, and if google.com doesn't work, try to find the IP address of google.com. Just use 1.1.1.1, I guess, and put that in Ping Plotter. Because here's another problem, right? Every website, every domain on the internet has an IP address. When you go to google.com, the rest of the internet doesn't talk to it like google.com. It talks to it like blah, 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 number, right? That's the IP address. There's something called a DNS, domain name server. It changes the name into the IP address. If that's not working on your network for some reason, then when you type in google.com, it doesn't know where to go, so you're going to have a little, like, we can't reach the internet kind of thing. When really your internet's just fine. Your DNS is having problems. So type in the IP address, see if you can go to the IP address. If you can go to the IP address, then it's a DNS issue. It's not a network problem. It's a DNS problem. Then, if it still doesn't go, you're going to check out some other stuff, like seeing with Ping Plotter, where your network traffic does go. If it stops right at your router, then most likely your router is probably the problem. The best thing you can do is turn off your router and turn it back on. Just reboot it. Honestly, it works really well sometimes. Just reboot your router. Sometimes it'll come back up. Sometimes, if you have a power outage, and even if you turn your router on or back, turn it off, turn it back on, it might not still work because sometimes the connection from the internet to your house takes a while. It took me like 2 hours one time just for it to sync back up and get a connection going again. That's not my fault. There's nothing you can really do with that situation other than maybe turn the power off again and manually reboot it yourself, because things do have to boot up in a specific order. But that's that, guys. What do you think?